I just want to talk about a couple of things, and there are some sort of little, hiccups that come with Zoom sometimes. So I want to talk through how to use those features, how to answer quizzes and polls, and also just review how to talk in the chat as well. So one of the things that can really help you is to make sure that your Zoom app has the most current update. If your Zoom app does not have the most current update, it's possible that you won't see things like surveys when they pop up, or you might just have some glitches that are based on the fact that you're running an older version of Zoom. If you're somebody that regularly does updates on your apps through your phone, you may already have the most updated version, but this is a way to check. So I'm going to walk you through the steps for checking if you have the most updated version, and then getting the most updated version if you don't have it yet. So like I said, some things like polls and quizzes might not work seamlessly if you don't have the most updated version. And Zoom is also always in the process of adding more features, and sometimes those come in through the most updated version. So just to make sure that you're using the one that will work. So to check for updates, you're going to open the Zoom app, and you already probably know this, but it's sort of an obvious app because it says Zoom on it. It's not just a picture. But go ahead and open up your Zoom app, and it's good to check for updates when you're not actually in a scheduled meeting. So try not to do this doing something otherwise. You can do this on your own time, because if you do have to add an update, it might make it difficult for you. It might log you off. It might make it difficult for you to see the screen otherwise. So do this when you're not currently in a meeting. That's probably the best way to do it. So what you want to do is open it up, and you should see a window that looks something like this. Mine is in dark mode. That's why my pictures are always dark, but yours should look something like this. So you should go to the three dots down here that say more, and click on that, the first thing. Once you do that, you'll see a list that looks something like this. And what you're going to look for is the one that says about. So you're going to click on about. And once you do that, you should see at the top of your screen something that says version. And there'll be a number next to that that is sort of the wonky number of whatever operating version of Zoom you're currently running. It's not going to mean much to you. That number doesn't mean much to me, but if you click on it where it says version, if there's a new version available, it will tell you that, and it will ask you if you want to update. So just click on version, and it will give you the newest one, and just follow the prompts. So if it says, do you want to download the newest version, you just say yes. And it'll take a second you'll get a little loading thing, and it'll update to the newest version. So once you do that, you should get a screen that says Zoom is up to date. If you're already running the most current version of Zoom, if you click on that one that says version, this screen will just pop up automatically. So this is just a good way to check that you're updated. So if you go through those steps, if you get to a screen eventually that says Zoom is up to date, then you're in good shape. You should be able to see quizzes, surveys, everything should be running properly. And as I mentioned, I can sort of remind you of this along the way too. It's worth checking this periodically just to make sure you're using the most recent version of Zoom. Like I said, it's like they update with, fixes to problems and new sort of technologies to it, new features. So it's always good to just check in every now and then and see that you have the most recent version. To find the Zoom app, you should be able to go into your apps, or you should see it on your screen, on the screen itself. So once you have the most updated version of Zoom, or if you already have the most updated version of Zoom, you should be able to answer polls and quizzes pretty easily. And I'm going to show you what the process is for that. So when the host of a Zoom meeting sets up a poll or quiz, so it should automatically pop up in your screen on Zoom and look something like this. All right, and so what you want to do to answer it is just fill in each of the questions by clicking on your answer, and a blue dot will show up here. One of the nice things about this is that, if you answer this and then you wanted to change your answer, you just click on, the one that you meant to click on in the first place. Like before you submit it, you can change your answers. So that's totally fine. So for this one, the correct answer for this one was grooming, and that's what we clicked on here. And like I said, these ones with the red star next to them are mandatory. So that means you just need to put in an answer in order to submit the whole quiz. So again, guess if you need to, that's totally fine, but please do answer all the questions, because otherwise it's not going to let you submit. So there were 3 questions on this quiz. So we want to scroll down so we get all of them. So we did false for this in 1973 here. And like I said, if you accidentally tap on the wrong thing, just tap on the one that you want to answer and it'll switch over to that. All of these are, at least all the ones we've done so far, and probably the ones that we'll do in the near future, all just have one answer. So it only allows you to pick one answer. So once you've selected all your answers, you'll see the submit button light up blue, and then you can hit submit. And once you do that, your answers will go into the sort of pool of answers from everybody. Again, there's no connection to your name or your call-in or whatever. It's just, 25% answered this or 30% answered this. So again, it's not tied to you directly. So don't feel self-conscious about that. And so once the host of the meeting has said, the time for the quiz is up, or the poll, I'm using quiz and poll here. Poll is more like asking your opinion about something. Quiz is something where it's like, there's a correct answer that we're looking for. So once that time is up, the host will share the results. So this one, I just did this by myself. That's why the 100% is me. That's what my answers were. But in a group where there's, 40 or 50 of us, we'll have like 3 people answered this, 10 people answered this, and what the percentage is. And then here too, you see that it shows you, it reminds you what your answer was. So that you can see as we're discussing this, if you got the correct answer, and also like, what the percentage of people that got the correct answer was, or if it's a poll, the percentage of people that sort of answered something similar to you, right? So that's a way to sort of review what the answers were. So I want to just do a little reminder about using the Zoom chat, or if you're someone who has had issues using the Zoom chat or has not used it because you're not comfortable using it, I just wanted to walk you through this a little bit, and you'll see there's these goofy pictures of me talking to myself because I set up a Zoom chat where it was me on my computer and on my phone at the same time. But I just wanted to show you these features. So one of the things that can be sort of confusing about Zoom sometimes is that you often need these little icons down at the bottom, right? And sometimes you can't see them. They hide themselves if you're not currently using them. So like to get to the chat or to see participants or to join your audio or any of those things, what you need to do is tap somewhere in here, somewhere in the kind of lower 4th or 5th of your screen. Just tap once and these icons will pop up, okay? So if you ever are in here and you're like, oh, I need my controls, but I don't see them anywhere, just give it a tap down in this area, okay? And they should pop right up, okay? And so then you'll see that chat icon. All right, so I've zoomed in a little bit here so you can see it a little better. So to get to the chat, you're going to click on the chat icon. And if you're on your phone, what that'll do is it'll sort of give you a new screen that's your chat screen. So it'll take you off of the main Zoom screen for a second, but you can always just swipe back. But in order to write in the chat, it'll just sort of come in from the others, okay? And when you click on the chat icon, your screen should look a little something like this. If you go in the meeting chat, this is where all your chat, messages in the chat will show up. So similar to Facebook, you're going to type your message in the little bubble here. And also, I just wanted to show you can access emojis by clicking on the little smiley face. So I'm just going to type this sample message in here. I did, hi everyone, it's Francis, and then I put my little emoji in. And once I'm ready to go and send that message, I'm going to hit this thing that looks like a arrow or a paper airplane, whatever, either way you see it. And that'll put it up in the chat. This has a lot of arrows on it. So when it's up here, my message has then been sent out, okay? You can respond directly to somebody's message by clicking on this icon, or you can add an emoji. So if somebody wanted to like add a smiley face under that, you could hit this and add a smiley face, or you could say, hi Francis, if you wanted to hit this and put text in. And you can start a new message in here. You don't have to just respond to people. Again, you can type as many messages as you want to. Where it says here, send to everyone, there's a drop-down menu there. So I think most of the time when we're talking in the chat on university, we're talking to everybody. We're saying hi, we're asking questions, But say you have like troubleshooting question, or you can't hear or something like that, and you want to just ask maybe Christina or me, or if you have a question for Sam. If you hit this drop-down menu, you'll see a list of all the people that are on the call, okay? And you can select a single person to send your message to if it's not something you necessarily need or want to share with the entire group. Like if I did this on here, it would say me, like I could send a direct message. But if it's a class, there'll be Sam, Christina, me, a whole bunch of people on here. You can just select one and send a direct message to them, and then they can respond to you directly as well. One thing I do want to just caution you about is once you have done that and sent it to one person, it'll remain on that one person until you change it back to everyone. Okay. So if you're saying something to Christina, but then you want to say something to everyone in the chat, just make sure you've turned it back to everyone. Just double check that you're commenting to who you mean to comment to there. Like Smart University Host was the only one on there for that, but I could select that and just respond to that directly.